Hi and welcome to today's vlog. Today I am just going to talk you through some of my favourite Florida moments from 2019. There are some pictures and there are some videos. But yeah, I'm just going to basically talk about the moments that made my Florida trip in 2019. Obviously we were planning to go back in 2020. That didn't happen. We were going to go back in 2021. That's not going to happen. It's all very up in the air at the moment and I'm feeling very sad about it, so I thought what better way to counteract Disney blues than by sharing some really cool Florida memories. So we went to Florida for the first, well, I went to Florida for the first time in 2019. We went with my brother and his then girlfriend, Amy. So my brother is called Peter, she's called Amy, and we went with my husband Neil, and it was his first time as well. Amy has been a couple of times before, Pete has been once before. We'd been planning the trip for over a year, and we stayed at Cabana Bay, which is a Universal resort, which is kind of like, it's a cool hotel. It's sort of like 1950s style, I would say. We had a nice room. It was close to where all the food and the shops and stuff were. It was close to Starbucks, which Neil was thrilled about. So that was all really good. Yeah, our room was really nice. So that's a bit of a background really. So now I'm going to talk about my favourite moments. They're not in any particular order. I was going to do a countdown, but I don't want to pick any one moment over another. So this is just sort of a collection of things. So first up, I am going to say that one of my favourite moments was watching my now sister-in-law pick her wedding dress. They planned to get married while we were out there. Everything was sorted and arranged, and on our first full day we went to, it was like a shopping complex. It was next to a shop called Dick's, which made me laugh a lot. And it was a huge, I've never been in a wedding dress shop so big. I mean, the place where I got my wedding dress from is just a really small little place, and there were so many changing rooms and there were so many dresses. It was insane the amount of wedding dresses that were in there. But anyway, I was lucky enough and honoured enough to help Amy pick her wedding dress, and it was amazing. It was beautiful, and just watching her try on dresses and then find the dress that was for her was just amazing really. And I think, I don't really believe in fate, but she didn't take a dress out with her. The plan was to buy a dress off the rack when she got there. Now I know here it isn't as easy to buy a dress off the rack, especially when you've got sort of a very small gap between buying the dress and having the wedding, which I think was about just over a week that they had between buying the dress and the wedding day. But she found a dress. The dress was her size. It needed minimal alterations, and they were able to offer the alterations in time so that she could pick it up the day before the wedding, which is just amazing. How cool is that? And how sort of in fate that she would find the dress and it would be the dress she wanted and it would look beautiful on her and it would be ready in time. It was just really cool. So here is a video of Amy in her dress in the shop after she found the dress. They do a thing where you ring a bell and you hold up a placard. So this is Amy after she found the dress.
Whenever you're ready, you'll just ring the bell.
Amazing. So that was really cool, and I was really honoured to be able to share that experience with her. So thank you, Amy, for letting me share that experience with you. It was really lovely. So yeah, that was my first standout moment from the trip. Next up, I'm going to say the moment that we walked into each of the parks. So we did the Universal parks, we did all of the Disney parks, and we did SeaWorld. And the first moment of walking into all those parks was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. The magic of going into Disney, especially, the magic of walking through that entrance and seeing the castle at the Magic Kingdom, or seeing the tree at Animal Kingdom, or the golf ball at Epcot, seeing all those things for the first time was just amazing for me. I've dreamed all of my life of going to Disney, and that first moment when we went in and it was all there and it was beautiful and it smelled amazing and it was just really cool. So that is a huge standout moment for me. Those first moments in the park, my first photo with the castle in the background, amazing. Really cool. So yeah, that was just a great memory for me to have. And looking back at those pictures of sort of going into the parks for the first time, just brilliant. So next up, I'm going to talk about the food. The food, we had a lot of really cool meals. I don't know what I expected from the food, and being a celiac, whilst there are good gluten-free options, those options tend to often be a pizza or a burger, which great that they can do that gluten-free, but it's not always what you want. But anyway, some of my favourite food moments are really silly ones, like the first time I got to try popcorn at the Magic Kingdom, and one of those Mickey shaped chocolate things on a stick. That was really cool. I had a turkey leg at Epcot, which I know a lot of people think is really gross and disgusting. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was such a novelty having a giant turkey leg. Amazing. We were there for the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, and there were lots of sort of stands with different foods from around the world, which I think change depending on, the food in them changes depending on what festival is on at the time. And one of the first sort of stands we came to was like a Caribbean type one, and I had a corn on the cob, and I think I ate 3 maybe the whole time we were on holiday, because I've never tasted corn on the cob like it. It was amazing. So yeah, the food was brilliant. We had giant burgers, and here's a picture of my brother trying to eat a giant burger. We went to this steak place called Fogo de Chao. We did that for to celebrate my brother's wedding. So the day after the wedding we went to Fogo de Chao, and it's basically like all you can eat steak, and men in tight trousers just bring pork to you. And we did make a lot of jokes about pork swords and things. It was good fun, but it was basically all you can eat is steak, which was just the weirdest thing. And it was really nice. The food at Fogo de Chao was phenomenal, really good. We also ate at a place called Cowfish, which does sushi and burgers, so sushi burgers. That was really weird. I thought that was great. We ate at a place called the Boathouse at Disney Springs, and that was one of the nicest meals I've ever had, and they were absolutely brilliant for gluten-free. And we sat looking out on the water, which was just beautiful. So yeah, all of the food at Disney was brilliant. Neil loved the food in Florida, and he ate a lot of churros and cinnamon rolls. He loves cinnamon buns, and he found a Cinnabon and was just in his element. So yeah, the food was just phenomenal, and I had a lot of milkshakes from Starbucks that they don't do here, and some of they're not milkshakes, frappuccinos. So the frappuccinos were just really good as well. The food was just really good. I loved the food. So yeah, that was another standout moment, well, multiple standout moments were the food. So another of my favourite moments is, it was the first full day we were there, so it was after we'd bought the dresses, after my brother had bought his suit. We stayed in the hotel basically. So at Cabana Bay there is a bowling alley there where you can eat and do bowling. And we went bowling. I didn't. I can't bowl because I can't wear the shoes that you have to wear. So I watched my brother, Amy, and Neil bowl, and it was a really simple thing. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't dress up. We just went bowling and had food, and it was just such a nice, chilled out, fun evening, and we weren't fed up with each other yet, and it was just, I really enjoyed that. I laughed a lot. It was really good fun. Yeah, I loved the bowling. That was great. It was just, as I say, nothing particularly special, nothing particularly exciting, just a really nice, happy, chill family moment, and I really liked that. That was great. So next up, I'm going to talk about when I went on It's a Small World for the first time. It was my first time in Disney. It was my first time in a wheelchair properly, and I was in sort of quite a high state of anxiety for the entire 2 weeks. So I was too scared to go on the rides. I was sort of too anxious. I was really self-conscious about getting out of the wheelchair and going on rides. I was very self-conscious about that. So I didn't do a huge amount of rides, which I do regret. But so on our first day, on my first ever day in the Magic Kingdom, the first ever ride I went on was It's a Small World, and I love It's a Small World. Having never been on it before, when I was a kid, I had a music box that played It's a Small World, and I've always been just obsessed with the idea of it. So getting to go on It's a Small World for the first time, I cried. It was amazing. And I know a lot of people don't like that ride, but I love it. I love the song, I love the ride. Amazing. So yeah, my first time on It's a Small World was just brilliant. Yeah, I loved that. Next up, I obviously can't talk about going to Florida and going to Disney without talking about seeing the evening fireworks show, so Happily Ever After. Again, this was my first ever day in the park. We spent the whole day there, and then we watched the fireworks in the evening. And I cried. I cried so much. It was amazing. The fireworks, I didn't really know what to expect. I was sort of just expecting fireworks, and I don't really like fireworks. I like looking at them. I don't like the bangs. I don't like the noise. So I wasn't really sure what to expect, and again, being in a wheelchair and being in a crowd, I was very anxious. But the facilities they provide for disabled people are just so good, and there are special roped off areas that you can go into that are specifically sort of disabled viewing areas, so for wheelchairs and things like that. So we were able to get such a good spot in front of the castle to watch the fireworks from, so that was really great. I have of a fireplace where the heroes would be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and the voice keeps saying, this is what I'm going to be. for the first time and seeing that projected light show and hearing my favourite Disney songs was just, ugh, I can't even tell you. So yeah, I cried, of course I cried. It was beautiful, it was phenomenal, I've never seen anything like it. So yeah, I think that's really up there with my favourite moments from the trip. The last couple of things I'm going to talk about today, because I could talk for absolutely hours about the things that we did in Florida, how funny it was, the funny moments. I could talk to you for hours about it, but I'm not going to, because that's going to bore the arse off everybody. So the last couple of things I'm going to talk about is the rain. I think a couple of the days that we were there, it rained, and we got caught in the rain twice. So once at SeaWorld, but we were able to shelter, and it was fine. And it rained, it stopped raining, and then it was beautiful for the rest of the day. And then the second time we got caught in the rain was at Universal, and I had been left in my wheelchair outside the Simpsons ride, and my brother, so Pete, Amy and Neil, had all gone on the ride, and the heavens opened, and I've never seen rain like it. It was really cool. Just the noise that the rain made, the sheer volume of rain, the thunder, the lightning. I've never seen anything like it, and it was amazing. And I got absolutely drenched. I was soaking wet. The chair was wet. It was just soaking wet. Luckily, I managed to get under sort of the awning of a shop. So once I'd got initially that soaking wet, I was then able to get under something, but I could literally wring my dress out. It was that wet. It was amazing. But once it stopped, and it never rained again. It was just, to see that volume of rain in that short space of time was just, I thought it was amazing. It was really cool. So yeah, I absolutely remember the rain. It was something else. So the very last thing I'm going to talk about, which obviously I had to pick as my ultimate favourite moment from the trip, because else I would get into trouble. My ultimate favourite moment from 2019 Florida was watching my brother and Amy get married. They chose to get married on the 15th of May, which is mine and my brother's birthday. We're not twins, we were born 6 years apart. And he thought that if he got married on his birthday, he would remember his wedding anniversary. I would like to point out that we have shared the same birthday for over 20 years, and he has never once remembered my birthday, despite it being on the same day as his. So we'll see how remembering the wedding anniversary goes. We were the only people there to watch them get married, and having that honour and seeing my brother get married was just, well, it was surreal for a start. Watching my baby brother get married, that was really weird. But it was beautiful. They got married on the Orlando Eye. I don't know if that's the sort of official name for it, but it's basically a giant big wheel at City Walk in Orlando. And they got married on that, and they timed it so that as they said their vows, the sun was setting. How cool is that?
It takes a lifetime of love, commitment, and compromise to make marriage durable and everlasting. No gift you have to offer is more valuable than your love, so treasure it with all your heart and nurture it with care. Work your love into practical things so that nothing can divide you. And take time from every busy day to be there for each other, to show how much you mean to one another. You may kiss your beautiful bride. The newlyweds! Awesome. And look at the sky. Wow.
So getting to go round in that big wheel and watching them get married was just such an honour. So honestly, thank you both for letting us share that day with you. It was beautiful, and I was so proud of my dick brother. Yeah, it was lovely. And then afterwards it had gone dark. They got to take some beautiful wedding photos. Again, I'm not going to say it was fate because I don't believe in it, but Amy's favourite colour is blue, and the wheel was lit up blue. afterwards, and they got a free bottle of champagne, which was really cool. And they could have paid extra to light the wheel up a specific colour, but they didn't, because it was incredibly expensive to do that. So when it went blue, that was just really cool. It was like a cool added bonus. Yeah, so that was obviously my ultimate favourite moment, watching my brother get married. That was really cool. Yeah, amazing. So that's it, really. That's all I'm going to talk about today. If this video goes down well and gets a good sort of response, I might do more like this and just share some more memories from Florida and talk about some of the other things we got up to. If it doesn't, obviously I won't bother. So there we go. As always, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, then give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back soon with another video.